I'm going to tag this guy and then try to lure him down to the planet, because this is the one. This is the main guy we're here for, the C2, because he's going to have 32 SKUs we can play with. The whole point of this is just to pop this C2 down. Ooh, he's close. Oh, bud. How close are you? Don't do that. Oh, my God. Hi. What the fuck? What are you doing? Oh, my God, man. It sounded like a whale when he came around. It's woo. No, no, no. Don't you dare start flying up, you bastard. Stay right. There we go. All right. Hands off weapons. Please, please, please. Don't hit too hard. Don't hit too hard. Oh, she's nose down. All right. And she landed belly down? Could we ask for a better setup? What do you do with 32 SKU boxes, though? So I will take them back just to a base, like if it's, you know, Quantanium or whatever. But mostly the goal here, because I can transport 32s to any station, really. And I'm just showing, so I guess I can show you guys. So this is what in the Navy we would just like call our loading zone tape or our caution tape. And this is all griddable space, all the way up to this caution tape here underneath the catwalk. The thing is, kind of outlined right here by the orange bar and this caution bar, this area for some reason is gridded specifically to 1 and 2 SKU boxes, which is dumb. It's not until you get right here that you get the 24 SKU worth of space to that other caution tape. Why not allow for the big boxes to grid all the way to this caution tape? Because from here to here is a perfect fit for 32 SKU boxes. And then on top is a perfect fit for 24s. It's great. And then you could even fit the 1s or 2s here along the side next to the 32s. Thing is, for me personally, I like to keep space for the ladder well, and even for the doors if you can. When you have 32s, you're not going to be able to go down your passageway here, but at least having space to get to your ladders is really important. If we get any copper or corundum, I'm so taking that back for supply or die purposes, because copper and corundum is the stuff that makes you the big bucks. Because I might have a couple of guys in the org that haven't finished getting the stuff for it. So there we go. Corundum we'll set aside. Iron, we'll get out of here. But see, this is what I'm talking about, man. Ship's tractor beams can't manipulate these 32s, but my tractor rifle can. I can throw this around, I can rotate it and everything with a frickin' rifle. So yeah, we definitely need ship tractor beams to get a bit of a rework. This should be, we got copper, we got med supplies, which we'll put toward the bow of the Caterpillar, because we'll take that with us. So this is one of the things, it's a little bit easier to do these VHRTs. C2 is 696. Yeah, you might be right, and that is insane, because I think the Caterpillar is 576, so that's 120 more carrying capacity than the Cat. So again, yeah, the C2 is definitely the king of hauling, aside from like a whole C. Let's see, makes the back low, Star Citizen Classics, you got it, man. Getting reamed by a cactus. Not Navy, just jumped out of planes. Well, not all the time, Brit style, so we had our pinky fingers up and held a cup of tea when we did it. That's awesome. Well, dude, jumping out of planes is way more exciting than anything I did in the Navy. I was a bomb builder, basically, in the Navy. We put together the quick strike mines, the guided missiles, the guided bombs for the fighter jets. We were what was known as aviation ordnance men, or AOs. We had a phrase called warheads on foreheads, or IOUS. If you ain't ordnance, you ain't shit. Yes, this is totally a legal mission. This is actually a VHRT bounty. I'll show you guys where it's at for anyone who's joining in and wants to see. So here in contracts, when you go into your offers and you go into bounty hunter, that is what we're doing here. And the reason is to show you how the 32 SKUs fit into the Cat, but it's also a fantastic way to make your money. Now, ERTs are really tough to do, even solo in a really good ship, because you might have a freaking Hammerhead Corvette involved. 890s can be a little dangerous, but they're a little bit easier to take down. But what we did here was a VHRT, which right here. So VHRTs will typically have a Caterpillar, a C2 Hercules, which we're in now, which is really awesome, a Starfarer, which is okay. They're a pain in the ass. A Reclaimer, which can be good, kind of annoying to get into. And if you're going to do these missions, I really advise trying to focus on them around a moon like Magda, or going to Crusader and doing them around Yella, Selin, Daymar. But be careful, because right now with the Rider or Supplier Die stuff, there are a lot of pirates camping out the orbital maneuver points around those moons, because they know that people like us are doing this with our hauling ships. And yeah, that just ruins your day. But yeah, these are totally illegal missions. We're taking out criminals. and I am commandeering their goods. There's usually always like some Quantanium or some other good stuff in here too. If you're doing VHRTs and you want to make good money, you're gonna, right here, we got 2 SKU of Quantanium, which is great. So Altrucitoxin is also really good if the outpost elevators are working, because Altrucitoxin will actually sell for like 23K. It's just hard to get those elevators to work. Otherwise, you can sell them for about 2K, which isn't bad. These medical supplies typically sell for about 2K. So we're going to take the med supplies, Quantanium. I'm probably going to leave Altrucitoxin behind. There you go. There's a 4 SKU of Altrucitoxin, which I don't really need. There we go. We got some copper, which is good. I'll bring that back with us. This is a 16 SKU. Hopefully, I'm going to, regardless of them being useful 32 SKUs, I am going to bring some to show you guys the whole point of why we're doing this, which is to do that. Oh, there we go. 32 SKU of Corundum. That's being a little stubborn. Come here, beautiful. I think it's also a 32 SKU of medical supplies, which is really good. So, yeah, let's do it. We're going to put this in. We're kind of lined up on this ramp with Bay 4. So, we'll do that. We will watch our positioning. Now, I like to be a little careful with this, so I'm going to kind of get this away here. And now I'm just going to start to gently rotate. I want to try to get it to where it's going to go in without much fighting. We're doing the scroll wheel rotate now just to get it a little bit more flat. Now this will fit really well. I want to get it kind of flat. We're going to drop it. And it usually slides in and stops kind of right where you want it. So about right there. Whoop, that went a little too far actually. Okay, so we'll adjust. We'll go over there and check it out and adjust later. But yeah, that'll fit nicely. Is this another 32 SKU of Corundum? Cool. This is actually exactly what we wanted. There we go. 32 SKU of copper, baby. Let's go. Copper is stingy, man. Copper is so stingy in VHRTs. You'll have Corundum out the ass, but copper, it's really nice when you come across a lot of it. All right, let's get this rotated. It's being a little tricky there. Up on the scroll wheel to bring it flat. Whoop, too much, too much, too much. A little server hiccup there. It's fighting me. There we go. All right, come over here to the edge of the ramp. Let's get this in here. And again, I love this industrial gameplay, the hauling and everything, so I plan to do a lot of that sort of content. And let me know what you guys like to see or questions you have, different ships. I mean, I know I don't have certain ships like the Raft and stuff, but if you guys want to see that sort of gameplay, then I'll save up and buy those in-game at least to be able to, you know, talk about them and show them what's going on. Yeah, when I'm running 32 SKUs and such, I like to put the smaller goods in the bow, because if you're running 32s, you've got very minimal space to put singles, doubles, quads in the actual modules. So let's stash all this crap in the cat and get out of here, huh? Go test out the whole C. And then we'll show off the Caterpillar tractor beam when we actually get back to our station. I'll throw that in there. I can organize that later. I don't really need to. There's not a whole lot of stuff. The Caterpillar can handle most of this, because most of the crap we just threw off to the side, like scrap and all. We weren't really all that concerned with taking that with us. I'm just glad that we can actually functionally use the bow of the cat, because during 4.0 and 4.01, you couldn't. There was like an invisible barrier that prevented you from being able to use it, which was really frustrating. Was not a fan of that. And that is a bigger box of Corundum, which it'll fit up here, but I kind of want to mess with it around the 32 SKUs for educational purposes. Get this up in here too. Let's see, that is another 16 SKU of copper, 16 SKU of Corundum. What we got here? Is this the Quantanium? Yeah, we want to make sure we take that with us. Let's see. All right, I'm glad I was able to jump up here, because our thrusters kind of have us partially off the ground. Usually when I'm planet side with full 1G gravity, I like to turn my thrusters off so the ship doesn't do that classic Star Citizen thing where it wants to end up hovering and then you can't get back in your ship. All right, now let's check these 32 SKUs so I can show you what I'm talking about. All right, yeah, we are not all the way in. So, yeah, you want to get it back just past that caution tape. And you might have to angle up a little bit to make it happen, but there you go. Pretty much have it right there, guys. Lined up with that caution. And on this side, it's basically perfectly in. Like, it should totally grid. This should grid. There's no reason this shouldn't be gridded in place with no problem. You can fit two side by side, and then grid a 24 or a 16 and an 8 or a bunch of 2s and 1s. Like, this would increase the efficiency of the Caterpillar so much, because that is all grid space. I'm not getting out of gridded space. It's just that the grid that it would tap into is technically right now only for 1s and 2s, which is frustrating. That's all that you can grid here, are 1s and 2s. Lame. And I shouldn't have done that. Oh yeah, and these two kind of slid in properly like I thought they would. This one's a little janky. Let me get it over a little bit if I can. This one is not quite where it needs to be. Again, you kind of have to lift up a little bit to get them to move right. There we go. That's what I want to see. All right, and we'll move that one right there. So yeah, guys, this is what you do for 32s. You just bring them back up to the caution line, and you're good. Now, if you're on this side of the bay, you're not going to be able to get to your ladder or get back in, so you got to know about that ahead of time. And if you're careful, you can run and jump here as long as you don't get stuck on stuff and just cross, which is cool. And from up here, we will grab these 16s, and I'll show you, because this will fit up to a 24 on top of the 32. And it's secure. I mean, you'll hear some alarming little jankiness when you come out of Quantum, but so far, it's never been a problem. I know we got some ventilation issues because the cat's been through some shit today. But yeah, so it sets in place and it lands there just fine on top of the 32 SKU. Again, I like to put 24s up there if I've got them. But yeah, you know, a 16 and an 8, and you can even stack. I don't feel really comfortable with like stacking 4 4s without a grid on top of the 32. That gets a little risky because they like to be weird. But single solid big boxes like this, it's totally workable. I do it all the time. And then this one, if you're diligent with how you line it up, you should be able to access the grid space next to the 32 SKU. Sometimes it's a little difficult to work with, but let's see. Yep, there we go. Just like that, man. I'm glad at least that's working for me. See, like this will grid back and stops in front of where the 2 SKUs would be behind this. But yeah, I think that's a really good demonstration for the cat. We're going to go ahead and get back to Everest Harbor. We'll deposit all these goods, and then we'll make our jump over to the PTU server and test the whole C since we have the funds for it. And yeah, Inner Hype, man, it fits perfectly. I love it. It really needs to be gridded. I hope that enough people bring that up to CIG to say like, hey, dude, just expand the grid. It's there. It should be inclusive of the bigger boxes. I think it's honestly just a simple oversight. You know, I don't think it's a really big deal. But yeah, we got them in. They're completely within the doors. We're going to go ahead and hit close all doors. And we're fine. She's good to go. So with this, you can fit 8 32 SKUs, which is awesome. 2 in each module with whatever you want on top. And then the bow can hold your singles, doubles, and quads. And you can squeeze in some singles and doubles next to the wall where the 32s are. But yeah, the Caterpillar is a lot more... Whoa! We stuck to the ground there. The Caterpillar is a lot more functional than some people might think. Now, again, the C2, the Hercules, it's still better at managing that stuff. But if you got a Caterpillar, you're a Caterpillar fan like I am, we got a lot of good use here. You know, she does a great job of handling these 32 SKUs. I forget we're missing our port nacelle on our cat, so that's why she's listing to the left as we're flying up. She's a little damage there. She's taking a beating. Yeah, that's one thing, dude. Drake ships are freaking tough. The amount of times that I felt like this ship should have fallen apart, and she's like, nah, we're good. I got it. Yeah, so if you heard that, I don't know if you guys heard that little jank of the ungridded material, you will hear that in the Caterpillar. But thanks to them finally making it to where the boxes don't do hull damage, your ship's going to be okay. It's just going to make you feel a little cringy that you hear stuff rattling around when you come into Quantum. Sweet. We didn't have to worry about a hanger queue. That's really cool. We're going to pop into SCM to get our shields up and slow down a little bit as we rotate on this. A little counter thrust to get us moving the other way. Even with just 3 engines, man, this Caterpillar's got some spunk. All right, let's go ahead and drop our doors. As we come in, we're going to do our scoot to the right, just like that. Bam, and then come on down, positioning us by the hangar. Yeah, there we go. And again, this is what I do just to put all of my modules facing the cargo elevator. It's a habit I've had for a long time that just helps me get in. And then before we store her, we'll go ahead and, you know, change the orientation, do the repair, get her all fixed up. All right, let's go. Let's get this 16 off of here. Whoop, we dropped it. Oh, and we kind of sort of caught it before it hit the ground. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me not do that. I wanted to show you guys how I use the ship's tractor beam. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and speed throw this stuff off. All right, so yeah, it'll often get caught when you're trying to do that. So lift up, then push. If you're ever having it, like most of the time, whenever you're dealing with hauling stuff, when you engage your tractor beam on it, just automatically slightly go up before you go out. So that way you avoid getting stuck on the ground on some random weird shit. It's been a really good way, especially when handling 32s on the cat, because you'll get like stuck on the door if you just try to like pull it straight out, like right now. So I like to come back here as far back as you can, grab it, lift, push. And most of the time, it'll do its thing without too much frustration. And then my little trick, I like doing this with the boys too, because we'll kind of toss these crates to each other. I will come to the edge of the bow. There we go. Yeah, remember, lift and then pull. And then I will come out this way. And then I will sort of just do the slow flying toss to my buddy Kuza, and like he'll catch it. You know, we've gotten pretty good at our caterpillar operations when it comes to offloading, especially from these weird spots like the bow. But even solo, you know, I'll just take it up and just give her a toss that way. And then I'll actually click off of it so I don't get the weird hiccup where it takes a second for the tractor beam to wake up. I'm sure a lot of you guys too that haul regularly have done a lot of these things or your own sort of workarounds. But for anybody who just likes to know how some of us do this stuff, the little things that we pick up, and different ships with their own different hauling personalities will be different with how you handle your cargo. The cat compared to like a C2 is going to be totally different. Ooh, so did you catch that? Sometimes your tractor beam won't want to grab out of your bow. Aim lower, and it seems to grab it. I'll try to show you again with the next box. A lot of this stuff kind of happens on the fly, so I apologize for the way I will just jump around as I'm chatting. So yeah, so if you're not grabbing it up here, aim lower. See that? And then we hook it, and we can pull it out. So just aim a little lower in the bow, and you should be fine. We still have that issue where if you're outside of the cat, it doesn't like to grab stuff inside of the cat. Annoying, but, you know, it is what it is. Oh, no, grab it. Oh, come back, come back, come back, you bastard. Oh! There we go. Upsy daisies. When it comes to ship's tractors, again, they don't really rotate boxes at all, unless you're like down, you know, 4s and 2s and 1s. But they are typically a lot faster at moving bigger boxes and just getting the bulk of stuff into your elevators. And you can kind of work your own way of janking them in properly. And when you're dealing with these, so you'll notice like it's kind of floaty with the mouse. If you just tap the Q key on your keyboard, now it is a lot more targeted, like it doesn't move excessively. And then I actually like to use my VKB. That's what I'm on now. I just switched over. And then my other VKB has a scroll wheel that I'll push in and pull on. So this is how I like to handle ship's tractors, because it feels better. And it is still really floaty. It's really sensitive. But I'll put it in, and then that actually did not do the way I want. So to rotate these, sometimes you have to like throw them around like that to get them to actually... Oop, that one wasn't happy. Oh, now it's too far back in the large hangar that I can't grab it. So there is a point where in the large hangars you get behind like an invisible wall that your tractor beam won't grab. So I'll have to make sure I go in there and grid that properly. I really hope that that gets fixed at some point, because that's frustrating. Yeah, and then you just want to kind of get used to targeting your crosshair where you want it, and you can still move and like organize to some degree. But like this thing, like I'm gonna try to rotate this. Oh, okay, so the 16 is rotating just very slowly. Oh, now it's over rotating. The momentum got away from it. But when you get up to like 24s and 32s, it's just, there's a no-go. But yeah, man, same, dude. Those invisible walls are such a pain because it kind of kills your ability to use your tractor beams efficiently. Now this, if I try rotating, since it's small, yeah, this is pretty good. I can even do the vertical rotation on the 4s and 2s and 3s. But when you get up above 16s, forget about it, man. It sucks. But that's not bad. I'm switching over to my mouse to rotate because I don't have a rotation capability bound to my sticks. Kind of takes me back to working on the ship in the Navy and even overnight freight at Home Depot and running with forklifts and all. You just kind of learn your own little quirks about how to maneuver this stuff in a way that makes sense. Like, a lot of people don't think that the Caterpillar tractor beam is really all that useful. I disagree. I mean, I know, no, you can't really reasonably load stuff into your cat, but the point is to kind of throw everything off to the side and then speed offload from your tractor beam. Or, you know, on a Caterpillar, guys, it's meant to have 2 to 3 people on it. So you have like a guy down in your elevator organizing, you have a guy on the cat throwing boxes out, and you have a guy here in the tractor beam grabbing those boxes and throwing them over to where the guy near the elevator can organize. You know, it's That's the whole point for this multi-crew gameplay. So when you're playing solo, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a buzzkill, you know, to not be able to have that full functionality. Like the Taurus, again, for a solo player, as I throw a box into a wall, the Taurus is just the way to go. The Zeus is cool. If you have a Zeus, it's fun. I like the design language. I like the cockpit view especially. It doesn't have all those stupid bars like the Connies do. But as far as functionality, overall functionality, I will always recommend a Connie Taurus. Even the Andromeda is not bad. I think you have less carrying capacity, like 96 carrying capacity, but it's a little bit more weapons focused. So you have like an extra 24 or so size 1 missiles on top of your 24 size 2s. But for the usefulness factor, I honestly think the Taurus claps the Andromeda, personally. My buddy Kuza might have a different opinion there. I love when we go out together, because his extra firepower, or his missile capability on top of my storage cap is pretty awesome. And both the Andromeda and the Connie Taurus can handle 32 SKU boxes, which is really great. Usually 2. You can actually fit an extra one kind of up in the middle that won't contact the walls of the Connie. There's all kinds of fun things you can do with those ships. Alright, let's get her fixed up. Yo, HB from Orlando, what's up? I got a lot of fellow Floridians in the chat here. That's awesome, man. Heck yeah. I appreciate you guys joining in. Let's go ahead and get this baby repaired. She has seen better days. Man, over 8K in repairs. Yeah, that port nacelle took a beating from the Reclaimer and the Carrack. But, you know, you guys got to see Reclaimer, Carrack, Herc C2 versus a Caterpillar solo. And the Caterpillar brought it home, man. So actually, I guess, well, I'll store the ship and then I'll show you the equipment I have on my components to show you what I'm running with. This ship is amazing for doing bounties and also getting cargo and all. I love it. Yeah, Taurus is my most flown boat. Caterpillar is my second most flown boat. And then we're kind of getting into like the Prospector and Vulture and stuff. Aside from the bounty things I do in my Hornet, my Gladius, my Buccaneer. I have an Ion, which I have a love-hate relationship with the Ion. It was really great and overpowered back in the day. Now it definitely needs like a team with it to be reliably functional. Let's see, did our port nacelle come back? Yeah, there she is, looking good. Alright, let's store this. I'll show you guys the cat components and then we'll head into the PTU. Mouse click in Norway. Oh man, it's awesome. So for anybody who's here who hasn't seen the streaming schedule, I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays scheduled 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern time because I'm just up playing at that time throughout the weekdays before I go to the gym and go to work. Today is more of an impromptu stream, but my scheduled stream should be on Twitch and in all the video descriptions on YouTube. And we'll do different things. We'll do hauling stuff, other industrial gameplay. We'll do some combat, some vigilante stuff. I like to occasionally go to Grim and sort of clean out the criminals, send them to jail, protect my fellow industrial players that are going into Grim Hex that are, they don't have their name in red. It's funny because my vigilante sheriff gameplay has gotten some hate from some of the criminal types, which I get. Dude, criminal gameplay in this game is part of the gameplay. I am not going to shame anybody for playing in the criminal side. I loved Sea of Thieves and pirating and going crazy with all of that. But I do enjoy being on the side of the law with regard to Star Citizen, with hauling industrial gameplay and kind of standing up for my fellow haulers and such that don't really care to engage in combat. So it's been kind of fun to see the criminals call me a griefer and say that I'm being mean by killing these red hostile players with a criminal status that, you know, don't want to fight. Like, do you not see the double standard? You're really saying that when you guys come after us hauling types, us industrial types all the time? I thought that was funny. I've enjoyed reading the comments because talk about the shoe being on the other foot with regard to who's getting attacked. And here you go. I'm gonna show you guys what I got in the cat. All right, in our systems. All right, for the cat, this is what I'm running, guys. We got 2 Chill Maxes, which are grade A industrial, I believe. Yeah. And we're running double Durango power plants, grade A industrial. And then I've got 3 parapet shields, which are grade A industrial, and they are beefy. And when you're doing VHRTs and bounties, man, these parapets are amazing. I do run a single parapet on my Connie Taurus. And the Erebus Quantum Drive. We did a Quantum Drag Race on the YouTube channel. If you guys want to see it, it's in there. It just says Quantum Drag Race on the thumbnail. We raced my buddy's M2 that had the Erebus, and my Drake Caterpillar had an Agni, which is technically the highest top speed. And his Erebus demolished me in acceleration and everything. It is just overall the best size 3 quantum drive aside from the military TS2, which you can only get through contested zones and stuff. But yeah, the Class A civilian Erebus Class A civilian is actually better than industrial in pretty much every category of quantum drive because of the way they accelerate and decelerate, even though their top speed's a little lower. And of course, military quantum drives are definitely the top of the line, but hard to get through. There's a barrier to get to those. But yeah, man, we're stored here. Let's get out of here and go to the PTU, yeah? Let's get that whole C. I almost called it a C1. Let's see how the 4.1 PTU whole C is performing, because we've done some content on the whole C in 402.